Some friends went hiking around the La Africana mine, one of the many mines in the metropolitan region of Chile. Suddenly they came across a metal structure with holes, like anyone would. They looked inside without expecting anything strange, but they recorded the worst thing anyone could capture at a time like this. We're here at La Africana. We found this, like this metal door, and we started looking down, and there's a giant ferry down there, and there's a lantern, and you can hear like crazy voices. They sound like crazy voices. The giant ferry is down there and we hear a voice and there's a lantern. Man, we don't know what the hell to do here. What a getaway. What the hell? Dude, look at this. Could something like this be a setup? How do you get the flashlight to move like this if you threw it into the hole? According to them, you can hear voices, and if you pay attention, you can indeed hear a small murmur. There's a flashlight, dude. And you can hear it like voices. Dude, you can hear it like voices, dude. This one down there is huge. Imagine being trapped here without being able to get out and without your voice being heard by anyone. What do you think happened here? What lies in this position was sent by Alexis Hernandez. He tells us that on June 30th, during the early morning hours, the dogs were barking a lot in a strange way. When they looked from the window, they didn't see anything. But the other day, after checking the security cameras, they caught something that made their blood run cold. Ah. What's this to you? Look at it with the color effect. At first I thought it could be a horse. Perhaps the poor quality of the camera from a distance does not allow us to record his entire body, but what does not quite convince me is the length of his neck. The other thing that calls this hypothesis into question is that at first a man is seen walking in the distance and he is seen in his entirety. How or why would the camera hide part of the horse, but not that man who is even further away? As always, you be the judge. What you will see in this position was presented as a glitch in reality, but observing it closely, that could actually be a real ghost. From one part of the mirror you see a man sitting, but when the camera tilts you see that there is nothing there in reality. Could it be a glitch in the reality of a ghost? Or is there some logical explanation for this? As always, you be the judge. Have you ever looked up into the sky and found something strange? Something that should never have been there? Sometimes you find things like this, natural phenomena that are weird and look strange, but I can assure you that you've never seen anything like this. What kind of natural phenomenon can create a square in the sky? In the previous video that I showed you, that halo is produced by an effect between the clouds and the light from a circular object, but a square, the only way to project something like that in the sky is if something square interrupted the light of the moon, something like a square cloud or something else. There are stories of people who have found similar shapes in the sky and then lose their memory of what they did after observing something like that. And the strangest thing is that, despite their size, no one else sees them. What do you think about this? What lies in position number 6 could happen to anyone. It's one of those imperceptible things that could always be happening, but until you pay attention, you'll never notice it. A couple had gone out to dinner. As the boy waits for his partner to return from the dressing room, he begins to notice something very strange on the street across the street. I swear that doll wasn't looking this way. Look, it
looks like it's looking at us. How awful. Love, it blinked. I swear I blinked. I swear that doll wasn't looking this way. Look, it looks like it's looking at us. How awful. Love, it blinked. I
swear I blinked. The boy noticed that the mannequin had its gaze fixed on them. He thought it was just a suggestion. Even the blinking. Could it be a pixel effect? The answer will simply lie in the quality of the camera. Or did this boy actually capture one of those very subtle paranormal things that perhaps have happened around you many times, but you've never looked? As always, you be the judge. Have you ever had imaginary friends? This is a personal TikTok account. She uploads photos of things that happen to her with friends and especially with her children. There is nothing paranormal in this account. Until this video. I'll let it run to see if you can notice it yourself. Did you see it? Something like a child appears from behind the crib. But before, notice how the child was going to enter the room, but he turns back as if he had seen something disturbing. It's like a face with black hair or floor hair. Ice tells me that Tefi doesn't have another child, that face shouldn't exist there. This reminds me of the story of a boy who said he played with an imaginary friend named Christopher. He always said he played with him, but his mother never paid attention to him. It turns out that on one occasion, due to a question from his sister, who was also little, Christopher began writing to his imaginary friend. It was an entity with a gray face and big black eyes. He used to tell her to leave her house late at night and follow him into the darkness. Luckily, his mother heard that and tried to take action in case that imaginary friend was something more. Can you imagine that this is what is happening to Tef's son? Maybe that dark entity that Christopher was seeing is not exclusive to him. In position number 3, we find a terrifying case that happened to a man while he was home alone. He had been seeing strange things in his home for some time, but he was never able to take any photos or record anything. Tonight, okay, we're going to catch him and take this time. Can you tell me what you want? And he's gone. He's gone. Where's she go? Where's she going? Back there. I see you, buddy. Can you tell me what you need? Oh, he does not like the light. I don't need to use the light, ma'am. I don't need to use this light. I'll put the light away. He wants to play. Oh. How do you do that? Can you please? That thing has no eyes, no mouth, and disappears at impossible speeds. How would you act in a situation like that? You could be so calm. The reason he is so relaxed, as far as possible, is because he has apparently seen a shadow like that on several occasions. Put yourself in his shoes and tell me, could you be that brave? Could you stay in this house if these things happen so often? Quote. On July 31st, a collapse cost the lives of 6 workers inside the Lieutenant Mine, one of the most important copper mines in Chile. However, a little over a month ago, different strange events occurred inside. And I'm not talking about signs of the collapse, I'm talking about real paranormal phenomena. In this video, one of the officials supposedly speaks with a person, another worker who asked him for directions. This man said he had never seen that man, but he was fully equipped. When he told the story, other workers told him that this specter had a name. His name was the Little Miner. He often appears in this place and many other miners have seen him without knowing who he is. Many other rumors occurred inside the mine, that voices were heard, that the stone seemed to shake. Could it have been some kind of omen of what would happen a month later? What do you think? Many times you have heard me say that when the truly paranormal happens it is very subtle, since the energies needed to materialize, whether consciences or the force from which ghosts come, are not always powerful enough to achieve a complete appearance. And perhaps that is what happened in this video.
That glass was moving, that glass. If something dark spiritual moved it, move it.
Oh, it is moving.
What happened? Look, look, look. Come on, look. Record, Matthias. There I am recording. Look, if there's something dark spiritual here, move the glass. Move it. I recorded it.
This video was sent by Elder Nunez during a visit he made to the Duran Sanatorium in Costa Rica. This sanatorium has many paranormal stories. People claim to hear crying and moaning within its walls. Others claim to see things, but what is most common is the unexplained movement of objects such as this one. Look, it seems to respond to people's requests. Tell me, what do you think of this and the previous recordings?